Snugly, Menglafla, Cthulhu, Rayla, Regnalin, Flatagan, Flugnuri, Meglaflan, Cthulhu, Rayla, Regnalin, Flatagan. My spell worked. I found my rum. Hey everyone, welcome to the ASMR review show. So, I have my rum back, and it's Kraken rum, which is my favorite, because it's like a dark, spiced rum, and like the artwork on it, you saw it was all like, it's a Kraken, it's sea monsters and stuff, right? And spooky sea monsters, well, why doesn't that perfectly lead us into the film we're going to talk about, which is Underwater, from earlier this year, 2020, directed by William Eubank, I believe is how you say the name, and starring Kristen Stewart, Vincent Cassell, T.J. Miller, and it's got a very, very brief, blink and you'll miss it, small cameo from Gunnar Wright, who I mainly know as the voice of Isaac Clarke in Dead Space games. So it's very small at the beginning. He's in the background. Nothing much, but hey, we'll take it. We'll take what you can get for Gunnar Wright. That's always good. So yeah, got my rum. Gotta have my rum and Coke, It's always a classic combo for a reason. So, a few brief spoiler-free thoughts on the film, because since it is more recent, there's less likely of a chance people have seen this one. So, Underwater is a sci-fi horror action adventure film, and there's been a lot of comparisons made to Alien, but I would say that the better comparison is to the film Gravity, because while both are claustrophobic thriller films, Alien's style is very, based on a lot of build-up and tension, for the first half of the film being quite slow. Gravity is a thriller, but it's like a straight-up thrill ride. Like, you're just tossed into the experience right away, and then there's no letting up and no holding back. It's just non-stop adrenaline. And that's the type of film that Underwater is closer to, as we follow these deep-sea explorers who their rig is being destroyed by some mysterious force, and they have to find a way to escape, and all is not what it seems. I bring this comparison up because I think if you go in expecting a movie like Alien, you're going to be wanting the film to be more slower and dynamic in its characters and its development. And that's not the type of film that they were going for. They were going for something like Gravity, but Gravity meets the abyss, Underwater. So it's very fast-paced, not much in terms of character, very straightforward, but it's all kind of just about inserting yourself into the thrill ride. So that's my main sort of warning I would like to give in that case. Don't expect like a big character study or lots of dramatic moments like that. It's just more a roller coaster, It's a fun adventure. It's a fun thrill. And it is a very enjoyable ride. This movie was actually quite good, surprisingly. Make sure you watch it in the dark, because there's a lot of dark scenes, as it does take place at the bottom of the Marianas Trench. So that way, the lighting is better for you, so you can actually see what's going on. I liked the visual style to it, and it was quite entertaining, and Kristen Stewart did a great job in the movie. And there's lots of little sci-fi references here. Like, a friend of mine told me that there's a scene where a character has their arm in a sling, and the seatbelt they're using is meant to be like the seatbelt from the Sulaco in Aliens, like the ones that they use for the power loader or for the dropship. And it might just be coincidental in the design to be similar, because I couldn't see anywhere else online talking about this, but you know what, if it's close enough, I'll take it as a reference, you know? And then there's a bit in the command center of this place where you can hear the Nostromo computer sounds in the background, you know, like that, or however you would describe that, you know? So it was a good, fun, entertaining film, some nice set-piece moments, very enjoyable, and I had a lot of fun with it. There is a aspect to it that I really, really enjoy, but that would require what I would consider to be a spoiler. So let's throw up a spoiler warning just in case, because I do think you should see the film not knowing the aspect of it that I'm about to discuss. So let's continue on then, if this doesn't bother you. And I alluded to it earlier by the fact that I was reading from the Necronomicon, and that I was reading a passage from the Call of Cthulhu, because the big twist is that Underwater is actually secretly a Cthulhu movie. Yes, there's sea monsters throughout, and they're kind of meant to be like the deep ones, which is like this amphibian race that like worships the elder gods and the eldritch beings. And then eventually we find that they're all being spawned from this supermassive eldritch being. And what do you know? He kind of looks a lot like Cthulhu. And then the director confirmed that actually that was meant to be Cthulhu. He's a slight bit different in the design. The mouth is a bit different, but he's still got like the beard with the tentacles and the squid on it. He's got the dragon wings, and then the, you know, sort of humanoid figure, the big arms and legs. Hence why I've made this connection to the past several films I've reviewed, because it is a Lovecraftian movie. And what's great is there's lots of hints to this throughout the film. The main company in it, as we all know, companies in all horror sci-fi films are all evil. The main company is called the Tien Industries. Tien, Lovecraftian Industries, Tien Industries, right? And there's little bits like the characters throughout are like hearing or seeing things or acting a little delusional. And that kind of is in line with Call of Cthulhu, because the whole point was there was this period where Cthulhu was awake, and many different people in all different areas of the world had like waking nightmares and freaky dreams from like March 23rd to April 2nd or something like that. Like the main captain, who's played by Vincent Cassel, he mentions about how his daughter is a certain age and how she's still alive, and then we find out later that no, she actually died when she was 14. There's a little like obituary note found in his locker. So kind of a case of like, you know, a marker style delusion. And also when we're in this scene, this is right before Kristen Stewart's character Nora like suits up to go to the final area, the Roebuck drill. She's looking at a map drawn where the proposed drill site of the Roebuck is going to be. And at the bottom of the screen we can see the classic Cthulhu drawing. This is one that Lovecraft himself drew, sort of to depict what Cthulhu looked like. That's there, along with some other weird scribbled images. There looks to be like some kind of like weird pentagram type symbol. So there's little hints like that throughout. And I remember watching it I'm thinking like, oh, is the Lord Cthulhu going to show up? And then when the arm gets raised, I was like, oh, my Lord, is that you? I did not recognize you. So I like to joke that, Cthulhu is the Lord, and I've seen lots of jokes that, the real person you gotta vote for is Cthulhu. Vote for the greater evil, right? Cthulhu's intentions. Well, politicians hide their intentions behind lies. Cthulhu has never lied to us. He's made it clear that he wants to wipe out all of humanity and bring about a new dark age for all of the earth. And you know what? I can get behind that, right? He's just so open and honest about it, right? Like, oh, this Cthulhu guy, right? Anybody know if he's single, perhaps? But so yeah, that's the big kind of twist to it, that the whole time it's actually secretly a Lovecraftian movie, and that's what I like about it, is that this element kind of is there and developed and sneaks up on you throughout the film. And that's really how it should be, similar to how Bloodborne was masquerading as like a Victorian era werewolves, vampires type game, and then the Eldritch truth is slowly brought upon on you and revealed in many crazy ways, until you're eventually fighting squid monstrosities and the moon presence and brain suckers and all that fun stuff, right? Such a great game. Loved it so much. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. Really liking the fact that we're getting lots of Lovecraftian-inspired films lately. Still hoping that Richard Stanley, for The Color Out of Space, that he's able to do a Dunwich horror film. That would be amazing. And yeah, I don't have too much to say about this one, but I did want to talk about it because it fit in with the theme, and it's a newer movie, and it's Lovecraftian, and there's squid monsters and stuff, and I like that kind of thing. It's pretty intense and violent for, I think it was only a PG-13 movie. I don't think it was rated R. So yeah, this is always my bit where I take my last couple minutes to think about, was there anything I missed, I guess I'll say is I like that you never get too many clear shots of Cthulhu in this film, right? Once again, the horror is scarier the less you see of the monstrosities, and less is better. You build it more with your mind. That's how it should be. And especially in this day and age, when you're able to get away with showing whatever you want with the CG and the effects, it's nice that directors are still showing some restraint when it comes to these sort of things. Like, as I mentioned in my Alien review, they originally wanted to have the xenomorph in that movie running around the halls and seen in the distance, and they couldn't do that because of the visual effects, so they just didn't show it. And similarly to of course, the famous story of the shark in Jaws, they decided not to show the shark because the visual effects didn't look good. So, okay, just don't show it. Nice and simple. Same thing here, right? You could have shown Cthulhu easily and stuff like that. It would have been in your visual effects budget. But the less you see, the better. As for the sort of what people believe is a mistake, that why didn't, Kristen Stewart's character Nora, why didn't she go mad from the sight of Cthulhu? Well, it's never established that you specifically see him automatically makes you frenzy or makes you mad. That does happen to a character in the Call of Cthulhu story. They're trying to get away and one of them looks back, he sees Cthulhu swimming towards them, and he just instantly goes mad and dies of fright a couple days later. But not every character who sees Cthulhu has that happen to them. There's the one pilot of the ship. He manages to steer the boat around and ram Cthulhu with it. Of course, Cthulhu, he just regenerates and then decides, you know what, these mortals aren't worth my time. I'm going to go back dreaming. So that's kind of how I view it. It's like, it has the capacity to drive you mad, but it's not a guarantee per se. But yeah, that's about all I got to say on this movie. It was very enjoyable. I liked it, and you know, I'm glad it got released, because it was apparently filmed back in like 2017 and just was on the editing room for a while because of the whole 20th Century Fox Disney merger sort of thing. So yeah, this is a pretty decent one. Even if you stayed for all my spoiler thoughts, hopefully you still go and check it out, you know? Maybe we'll have some more spooky sci-fi stuff coming up in the next set of videos. Anyway, gonna go enjoy some more rum now. Hope you all enjoyed that. And as always,